One of the biggest challenges you'll face when it comes to the world of communication is, how do you talk to a narcissist? Now, on the outside, they look totally normal. Maybe you're related to one, maybe you work with one, but a narcissist reveals themselves as soon as they open their mouth. Now, if you don't know exactly what a narcissist is, as if you've heard this term a lot, but you're not really sure how to define it, I'm going to break it down very easily. It is simply someone who cannot imagine thinking about someone else. They can't put themselves in somebody else's shoes. It's always about them, how great they are, how wonderful they are. If somebody else is having a good time, they need to be having a better time. If they're frustrated, they need you to be more frustrated. Understand that it is not empathy they practice. It's all about the gratification of oneself, and they just can't get there. It always has to be about them. They're always the victim, and it will always be that way. The best thing about a narcissist, typically, is that they have no problem telling you that they're a narcissist. So here are some tools I'm going to give you for the next time you find yourself talking to a narcissist. Number 1, don't play the game. Anytime you're talking to a narcissist, you are playing a game. It's a game I call praise or provoke, but in the end, we're going to find it's a rigged carnival game. It's not something you can win, so we're not going to play it. Number 2, anytime you feel like you don't know what to do, understand that the best move you can often make is no move at all. And we'll talk about exactly how to do that. And what about you? Have you ever had to deal with someone like this? Share your experience in the comments below. And don't forget to leave a like. Number 3, rather than getting yourself worked up as if you need to prove to them that they need to see the error of their ways and apologize, it's probably never going to happen, at least not to the extent that you want. Instead, there are ways you have to look within and understand that you don't need an apology to validate your own feelings. The tools I'm going to discuss with you today are as practical as they can be. There is a place you have to go in your mind to regulate yourself when dealing with behavior like this. You have to separate the person from their behavior and understand that what they're doing is a game. That's why rule number 1 is, don't play the game. Anytime you're talking to a narcissist, you are walking into their trap. It's a game they like to play. I call it praise or provoke. In other words, if they don't feel like you're praising them enough, if they're not getting enough accolades in the discussion, they will turn to provoke. They will start an argument because they delight in your frustration just as much as they delight in your praise. You may feel like it's something you can win. You think that when you get into that argument, you can show them the error of their ways, how they're not listening, how they don't understand. But they will not change. You may feel like it's something you can win. You think that when you get into that argument, you can show them the error of their ways, how they're not listening, how they don't understand. But they will not change. ULT text. It is a rigged carnival game. They feed off control. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone and you say something nice about a mutual friend? The narcissist will typically respond with something like, "Oh, well, I've heard this terrible thing about them." Or they'll redirect the conversation back to themselves. Narcissists want the spotlight entirely on them, unless they've done something wrong, in which case they'll quickly try to shift it onto you. The key here is recognizing that this is a game they play. You don't have to participate. This is why rule number 2 is, the best move you can make is no move at all. Silence is your best friend when in conflict with a narcissist. Silence cannot be misquoted or twisted. Often, you'll have the urge to say more, to reason logically. But they will pick apart your words, twist them, and make themselves the victim. This is why staying neutral is important. When you stay neutral, you refrain from saying anything hurtful because they are laying a trap, hoping you will say something disrespectful. As soon as you do, they'll play the victim and flip the script on you. Neutral phrases like, "Noted," "Good to know," or "I hear you," are useful. These give them nothing to grab onto, nothing to escalate. Keep the conversation monotone, unemotional, nothing that presses back. And number 3, you need to understand where to go in your mind when communicating with a narcissist. We often want to make them understand our point of view, but that's not going to happen. Narcissists cannot do that. Instead, shift your focus from "how can I make them understand?" to "I need to think about myself and my peace of mind." Narcissists only take, so you have to draw strength from the people who give to you. Another tactic is to use short, neutral texts in communication, avoiding long explanations. Narcissists will pick out one word and flip it, disregarding the larger context. Finally, in conversations with narcissists, the key is staying neutral and concise, not giving them anything to latch onto.